All right, Rick. So our next topic today is going to bring us into the world of NBC Universal and their Peacock streaming service, which still to this day is the worst name for a streaming service, really, let alone anything other than the animal. It's a terrible name.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why they need to change that name. They could just call it NBC's streaming service, or I don't know why they just don't call it NBC Universal Streaming at that point.
Yeah.
It's
Peacock.
Peacock is a terrible name for it. But that aside, the point of the rant here is that they recently acquired some streaming rights to some CBS properties of some Viacom CBS properties, things like Godfather, a popular TV show, Ray Donovan, which I never really watched, but I know is very popular, and then Charmed. And I mean, it goes on to there's like other stuff here too, and I'll just name these couple ones because, like, again, these actually are some like kind of big titles to some capacity, like Catch Me If You Can, The Town of Mr. Ripley, American Beauty, Patriot Games, Fatal Attraction. Like they're getting some good stuff for this deal, and this deal is going to be up until 2023, some sort of limited exclusivity streaming deal for these Viacom CBS properties on NBC Universal. And Rick, I bring this up because let me ask you, when just off the top of your head, because you're not like the biggest of biggest TV and movie fans. You don't go and see every single movie that comes out.
Very true.
And I don't see every single movie by any means either. But if I say that NBC Universal is going to have their own streaming service, can you name an NBC or Universal property just off the top of your head that you'd be excited to watch on it?
The only thing I can think of is like Universal Studios and like the movies that are associated with that. Which it's honestly going to be some pretty stupid stuff, like older movies like E.T., Jaws, that sort of stuff. But I can't really think of anything
That stuff's not
else.
stupid though. Those are classics.
Oh no, yeah. I mean,
Those are
like
classics.
I would do it for that, for the nostalgia, part of it. But
Right.
there's
that's
not
the
really
thing.
much else.
Right, and that's kind of my thing with it is this. I feel like this is a good move for Peacock.
Peacock.
A better move would be changing the name.
Yeah,
But
yeah, definitely.
it's a good move for Peacock because, like, realistically speaking, outside of those big movies, like you mentioned, another one's like the Jurassic Park franchise and like the Fast and Furious franchise. That's kind of the big things that Universal anymore is even known for. Like their Universal monster movies thing just kind of died off. You know, they tried to make that monsters universe, a dark universe with Tom Cruise as a mummy, and nothing came out of that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, they got all the classic like monster stuff they can do too. But I mean, outside of those core things, I mean, I'm having trouble even thinking of like some NBC Universal TV shows I would really even be like interested in watching. The good thing is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Peacock is supposed to be, they initially at least said it was going to be free but supported by ads.
That's
So
not too bad.
yeah, I mean that's a more compelling avenue I feel like they should do. With obviously they're lacking in some sort of content that they actually have the ability to put on their Peacock streaming service if they're going out of their way to license a lot of this material from like other companies.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I think it's a good move for them because, again, I don't even know what I would care about watching, and it's like without doing research. I know like NBC, like as far as the channel, like on network television, they've had a lot of good stuff over many years.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, if assuming all of those shows aren't tangled up in rights to other streaming services right now, like most of them are, because I think even like The Office, I think that's an NBC property. So once
Yeah.
that's what everybody kept saying. Once Peacock comes out, like Netflix is going to lose The Office.
The Office is actually coming off of Netflix in exactly 6 months as of yesterday.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because it's going to be here. Like they're not
Yeah.
going to license that sort of stuff out anymore. So that's kind of what it comes down to as far as them building up their library is they can put a lot of stuff on there, assuming it's not caught up in other licensing deals right now.
Yeah.
And clearly, the interesting thing, I guess, about that you could kind of assume is that they must have a lot of their stuff like kind of not ready to go on Peacock due to licensing stuff more than anything, I would assume. Otherwise, I wouldn't really see a need for them to buy some Viacom and CBS properties like this,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is, I mean, unfortunate, but because kind of like HBO Max, they had like all their like a bunch of their DC movies are coming off. They just launched like month or so ago, but like I don't know, half of their DC movies are going to be pulled off of HBO Max, and that's just because they're caught up in licensing agreements elsewhere. So they only
Yeah.
had a select window they could actually have it on there for launch and then pull it off. So hopefully Peacock can learn from HBO Max and not do that, because I feel like it's worse to advertise you have a lot of content and then you do at launch you have a decent amount of stuff like HBO Max did, only to a month into it say, well, half of this stuff's gone next month, so watch it quick. Like watch
Yeah.
it real quick. Like that's far worse.
Get your fix of it. And, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, another thing that we'll get into here in just a minute after this is like Apple with Apple Plus. They don't have they have a very limited amount of like original content and stuff available on there. Like Apple just got into the entertainment business,
Yeah.
and so they obviously don't have a back catalog of stuff like
No. Yeah, not
NBC
at all.
does, and whatever. So like they have like I don't know 5 shows, we'll say 10 shows, and like a couple movies here and there, but that stuff's there to stay forever.
Yeah.
It's not something that ends up going to be leaving soon or whatever.
Yeah, it's not cut up in the same licensing rights or
Yeah.
that sort of stuff.
So that's like that's the kind of step I hope Peacock take, which it seems like they're taking with it, is that they're not. I hope they don't launch with a bunch of stuff that they know they can't keep because of that. And like, because I feel like it worked out well for Apple's. I feel like everyone's sleeping on Apple, which we'll get to in just a second. But I don't know. It's a good thing for Peacock. They need to change their name,
Every time you say it, it's just like,
dude. I don't ever want to sit here and be like, dude, let's watch some Peacock, dude.
watching some Peacock.
Nah,
Watching the cock.
yeah, watch the cock. It's a terrible name, man.
Yeah,
they
it really
really.
is.
I think it's too late for them. I've already seen commercials. I've seen commercials already with them advertising with the Peacock name, so I know they're not going to change it. But
They say it with a straight face.
okay, Peacock.
Peacock.
It's terrible, dude.
It really is.
Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you think this is a good move, and do you hope that kind of where I'm coming from, that like Peacock doesn't make the same mistakes that HBO Max makes, and they just advertise they have a ton of properties and then pull them off because they have licensing deals, which it seems like them acquiring some long-term stuff here to 2023. That's a long time. So them acquiring this, I feel like, is a good move, and it helps build their launch library, and is much better than them, doing the HBO Max thing and then in a couple months losing your own properties due to licensing agreements. So whatever it is, whatever you guys think, just let us know down in the comment section below.